Hey everybody, it is Thursday and the second episode of Real Talk Bluegrass. I'm Michelle Lee, and today, this is exciting. We have two amazing singer-songwriters joining us, Miss Becky Bowler and Katelyn Ingardia of Backline. So it's going to be a fun-filled day, of course. We're going to get real. We're going to talk bluegrass and, of course, have some fun. And Sammy Passamano is also going to be joining us throughout the show. So hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as you did the first time around as we venture into two. So, of course, welcome, ladies. I appreciate you guys giving me some time today and getting real.
Hey, Michelle. Thanks for having me. Caitlin, good to see you.
Good to see you, Becky. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Sammy, for having us on.
So, well, of course, Becky, 8-time International Bluegrass Music Association award winner. You've won a few Grammys. You got that all underneath your belt. And, one of the coolest things, of course, 2016, you took home the first female vocalist award for your career, as well as instrumental. So that is going to be a great feeling for as long as you've been playing and as long as we've known each other, which is obviously, close to 20 years now. Just a remarkable career. So congratulations on all of that and more. And I know you've been busy today. You're looking beautiful. You've been busy doing some photo shoots, working on the next album.
Yeah, I was working on my album photo shoot today up in Nashville and with Jason Myers doing the photography, and it was a lot of fun. Always fun to get fake eyelashes. I really enjoy doing that. I haven't figured out how to put those on yet on my own. I need to practice that.
Of course, Katelyn from Backline, kind of new to the world of bluegrass. Not really, but, professionally wise, it's so great to have you on. And of course, your songwriting is just spectacular. I know, we've talked on numerous different occasions where you literally, I've given you an idea and you just run with it. The next evening, you have a song out, in my mailbox. So of course we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we jump into your songwriting and being moms and working and being professional singers, let's talk about what was just announced just the other day with the International Bluegrass Music Association with the virtual World of Bluegrass Week. Becky, you've been to many of these, and of course, you've been a huge part with IBMA. Tell us, your thoughts on how this is going to unfold, you think?
Well, in all honesty, I'm still getting up to speed on everything. I'm really excited that the Becky Bowler Band has been invited to be official showcase artists this year because we have a new album coming out. And so just still kind of figuring out what that's all going to look like now that it's virtual. But I'm just so glad that we're still going to have our big bluegrass party at the end of September. We're not going to let COVID get us down. Yes, we're moving to an online platform, but kudos to the IBMA for work and their Raleigh partners for working to put this together and making it happen for 2020.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be interesting. Katelyn, you've been to IBMA. You guys have been you've done evening after hour showcases. Yeah. Of course, that is going to be a different thing this year. And obviously, this is all new to everybody. So what do you think? How do you feel about this virtual?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like Becky said, at least we're still getting to have our big get together. I mean, I look at IBMA as like the big family reunion. Everybody's there. Everybody's getting to be a part. You're getting to hear music at all corners of the city. That's one of the greatest things about IBMA is just music everywhere. So, of course, we'll miss the getting together part, but I love the fact that they're using these platforms, these digital platforms and things to still allow the artists to have their day and to be showcased and for the music to be celebrated because that's what we want. I mean, it.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing I thought of too with this is, 80 years ago, bluegrass started. 1945. We're actually kind of lucky that we have these platforms. If it hit the genre then, or say even 43 years ago when the internet was coming together, it would have been a completely different story. And so I love that we have all of this technology and we're so lucky that we can utilize it and allow the music to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, obviously that is the key thing is the technology is going to be playing a huge part But another thing I think we're going to find is more people able to join in that maybe not be able to make it to Raleigh, whether it's for expensive reasons or, work reasons. But, I think this is going to be a way to reel them in, kind of, and get them to come into Raleigh in 2021. Because, hey, if they loved it virtually, maybe, they'll consider going live and coming and making it even a bigger event in 2021, because it's going to be even bigger when everybody gets together. So, well, of course, folks are going to hop in here. We're going to have some questions pop in here. And of course, we got a lot of folks already joining us. Rick from California. We have Shine from North Carolina. Of course, Travis from Backline is in here as well. But, both you ladies have had a remarkable start to your career. And,
hey, Travis.
Becky, Becky, let's start with you about your songwriting and that, because you've been writing songs for years, and not just for yourself, but other artists that have written your music or sung your music that you've wrote. What are some key things that you kind of draw from your own personal life or outside of your life to write your songs?
Oh man, everything in a songwriter's life is material. That's the old joke, and it's the same with everybody around a songwriter. but I draw from all manner of things, from books that I've read, from movies that I've seen, from things in my life, from things in my friends' lives, and I can always find a little part of me in every song, although sometimes it may be really well hidden. But all along, songwriting has been therapy for me and my way of dealing with the world around me and trying to make sense out of it or escape it, as need be. And I just feel so blessed that I've gotten to do this and that folks have enjoyed my songs, and that people have wanted to record some of my tunes. Some of the songs I write, I think, oh yeah, I want to keep this for me. And some of them I think, oh, I want to write this for somebody else, like, third time out.
I was just going to say,
whatever.
Yeah. I was just going to say, do you ever have certain people in mind? I mean, I remember when, we were together in Tennessee, and you were writing, and you would like, oh, I have an idea and I can't wait to put it on a demo to send it to Rhonda or Doyle Lawson, So, I mean, is that really like how your process and of who you have an idea of?
Yeah, sometimes an idea will immediately make me think, okay, I think I'd like to write this up for myself, or no, I think that sounds like something that these folks might record. I want to try to write something that they might enjoy and try to get it to them, and we'll see what happens. So, I just feel so blessed to have had as many cuts as I have, and to get to do this music. I enjoy it so much.
So Katelyn, about you and your songwriting, I mean, you obviously, both you guys come from different backgrounds. Becky comes from Minnesota, you're from South Carolina. How do you draw for your material that you write?
I kind of bounce off of Becky again too. It's funny, and she got me tickled when she said about being friends with a songwriter. You better be careful, because you might end up somewhere on the radio or something. But yeah, I feel like it's always been an outlet for me. I started jotting down stuff when I was younger, but probably around 11 or 12, things started coming together and started getting more structure into my songs lyrically, more structure into the build of the song. But for me, hook lines or melodies, they just come, I'm pretty random. I try to get some songs out, but it's just really what hits me. Something I might hear something or read something or feel something at that time, and just get an urge to sit down and write about it. And usually it comes with a lyric, and then a melody will follow. But sometimes it's melody first. You just never know. But definitely an outlet, definitely something to speak through. I'm not very in your face as far as, saying what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling. I'll cut up and go on all day long, but music is a way for me to put that on paper and to get it out of my system, and in a way that I can share with others and maybe help somebody else,
Well, and Travis says he gives you all the ideas. Travis said he gives you all the ideas of songwriting.
He would say that. Yeah. Well, we started getting into some band co-writes, so it's been really fun because the guys bring a lot of different flavor and stuff into the material, and so it's really neat to see what they add. I'll give him his 2 cents, I guess, right there.
Well, and speaking of the band, that's another thing. Here we are, 2 ladies. You're in a band full of men. Katelyn, how is that for you to, that you get to explore that every week in and out?
Oh, they make me tired sometimes. No, no, we have so much fun. They're like my big brothers. They're some of my best friends. I'm the butt of every joke sometimes. So that's something we have to get out there. But no, we have a great time together, and I feel like the guys that I'm with, they're all phenomenal musicians, and they push me to better myself. They push me to go further, to try to step out of my box and my comfort zones. And so, it's really fun. There are some times that I want to ring them up, but, we'll leave them alone. I need them too much.
Well, and Becky, the same thing. I mean, you got a great stellar group of guys around you too.
Yeah, they are so much fun. And they're all crazy, but they're all just really great people.
Yeah.
And I enjoy working with each one of them so much. Of course, Ned Luberecki is on the banjo, Professor Dan Boner on guitar, Nate Lee on the mandolin, and who am I missing? on the bass. I'm so sorry. Oh, anyway, and then CJ Garskoff is our sound engineer, and man, I've missed them. Monday night, the band was texting on our text thread. We're like, we're supposed to be at Bean Blossom right now. It's been hard, but they really, they're like Katelyn said, they're like my big brothers. They're dear friends, and I enjoy having having the harmony stack, with my lead vocal, and then the guys stacked below me on the harmony there. And but I've had some great women that have helped me out along the way too. Missy Raines has filled in with us some, and BB Bonus from Mile 12 has sat in with us. Who else am I forgetting? And Beth Lawrence, my dear friend from East Tennessee State University days, has sat in with us on the bass as well. And so great. So many great musicians in our genre.
Right. Well, Rick is asking, I don't know if you ladies can see this, but Rick asked, is there ever a moment when you were writing a song or when you're that you would say, dang, this is going to be a hit?
Ooh.
Katelyn, you want to go first?
I mean, I don't have that many hits, so I'm really new to the genre, like Michelle said, in the band, and so anything that I write, I throw it to the guys and see if they want to give them kind of first pick, see how they're feeling about it. But as far as thinking it's a hit, right now we have 2 singles we're cutting, and we're really digging them, and they're different than anything we've ever done. And so we feel like it's going to go over well, but you just never know. You never know what people are going to enjoy, what they're looking for. You never know how the charts are going to go, who you're going to be in the charts with, and who's dropping singles at what times and how they're going to run together and stuff. But I just enjoy writing music. I just enjoy performing and playing it. And at this point in the game, we're going on our 5th year together. We're just excited to be here and to be a part. I mean, so if it's a hit, we'll be ecstatic, and if it gets a little bit of chart play, we're ecstatic about that. We're just excited to make the music, And
I think the bottom line is too that you've got to make music that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And if you love it, then you can convey that love to the audience, and hopefully they're going to love it too, because they see how much you love it, and because they just love the song. And as a writer, I have to write stuff that I'm happy with, that I'm comfortable with. If I don't like it, then I'm not going to let it out there. But whether it's a hit or not, I don't know. But I always just write to try to please myself and think, I really like this. I'm happy with this, and I hope folks like it.
Well, and the cool thing is too, and I don't know about you, Becky, but some of those songs that I've not always been, I'm like, oh, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't kind of like how that turned out. Years later, I might go back and look at it and change it to where it's like, okay, now that works. Okay, which is really funny about songwriting. You might have those that are just like, I don't know about it. And they sit in the vault for a while, and then you go around and polish them up, put a little bit of makeup on them, and they turn out pretty good. So.
Exactly. I'm the same way. And sometimes you go back and you look at a song because you're looking at it through a whole lot more life.
Mm-hmm.
You lived all this much more life since you wrote that song, and you look back at it and you're like, oh, I need to say this and then that make this better and flow better. And maybe we can do something with this song now. Sure. So I've done that with a song or two that's been recorded. Yeah. And I'm like, if I ever sing that myself, I think I'm gonna change that one word, because that'll be better.
It's amazing how one word or a phrase, just a simple phrase, could just tweak and totally change the song. Right? I mean, after especially you write it or getting ready to record it, and then you're like, wait a minute, let me tweak it here and that. But so another question about your recording songs, and we're going to have Becky start this one off because, well, like Katelyn says, she doesn't really have very many hits underneath her belt yet, and I say the word yet. So Erin asks, is there a song that you've recorded where you were surprised that it became a hit song? I'm going to say whether it was your own or a song that you wrote that somebody else made a hit.
Yeah, well, I just the first one that pops just off the top of my head is my song "The Master's Garden." That was on my Little Bird album. It came out in 2004. It's just a old timey duet. Alan Bartram from the Traveling McCurries sang it with me, and it's just a simple little gospel song about somebody at the end of their life looking toward heaven, and it's same melody, verse and chorus. But I have had so many people ask me for the lyrics for that, or say that they sang it at the funeral of a loved one, and oh gosh, that just I keep saying blesses, but I don't know how better to express my feelings. It just blesses me so much, and it surprises me because it's just a simple little song, and yet it resonates with people. So, wow,
that's off her album Little Bird, by the way, which is I love that song. That was probably my most favorite song off that album, right after Opal, Ruby, and Pearl, of course. So, Katelyn, obviously, I mean, that is kind of a more trickier question for you. But the songs that you guys have had some success with, of course, you're pretty much like about 95% your writing staff for the band. You're one of the songs that, have been released and kind of made a mark in airplay. Have you been surprised by some?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we see more on social media, like our views have climbed, our likes have climbed, things like that. Things that we released, like, we released a really goofy kind of, If Corona Don't Get Me, Quarantine Wheels song. It was just a really funny, goofy, just throw some light out there for everybody. And the reaction to that kind of shocked us. I mean, people could relate to it. I think that one thing that Becky said that rung with me was it's relatable. Things that people can relate to, they turn to, they grasp onto, and it helps them. It affects them, and I think that's what affects the numbers and the charts is those songs that you really don't think, oh, it's not epic, it's not this massive hit like we've seen in the past. But when people relate to it, I mean, and they can grasp onto it and they can apply it to their life, I think that's what makes a huge. The biggest impact for me that I've seen just in the little time that we've been in this, it's really what about the people and how they, take a song and they, we have a song called Bluegrass State of Mind. And if you're a bluegrass artist or a bluegrass fan, then that song resonates to you because there's a lot of lyrics in that song that tie into bluegrass history, old bluegrass songs and things like that. So I definitely think it's a relatability and man, I think where we are right now, because we're so new, everything's exciting. You know?
I had a thought as Katelyn was talking, but I think the ultimate for a bluegrass songwriter is when you're walking through festival grounds at night and it's dark and they don't know you and you don't really know them, and you're just walking through and you hear somebody jamming on one of your songs. Yeah. To me, that's when a bluegrass songwriter has attained immortality. And that's the ultimate. That's the goal. You want people to be jamming on these songs.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, here we go. You guys are mothers at Boot. Becky is mother of one. Katelyn, you're a mother of two. And and Becky has a wonderful cat joining us as well. I love it.
Let him out. Just a minute here.
I love it. We're getting really real.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So,
we gotta take care of everybody,
That's Curly Ray Kitty, named after Curly Ray Klein.
Love it.
I love it. So
here in my music room.
Obviously, everybody that's been following Becky, you've been on the road since pretty much ETSU days.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, something like that. and obviously you obviously got married as you've been working and performing and have your child and that. And Katelyn, you kind of pretty much your oldest is 5 now, right? So you already you were about to begin everything. So how is being a mother during being a professional performer been for you?
You can go ahead, Becky, if you want to start.
I want to hear what you had to say.
Wow. Well, when we first started, we had one. Okay, we had Walker. When we first got started, he was 6 months old when I talked to him and was like, hey, did I have this opportunity? What do you think? And so we kind of just dove off the deep end there and jumped in with the guys and just started working. And it's been really awesome. Probably Dakota's 2 now, so 2 years ago. So that'd be about 3 years in. I had another baby. We performed all that year. I was massively pregnant up until my due date. I had 3 weeks off, and then we started shows again right after I had her. So it's definitely a juggle. I think I'm not one to just sit back. I like to keep going. I like to keep moving. Dakota was probably my hardest pregnancy. But now having the kids and they get to travel with us, I take them a lot with me. My mom travels with me. She and my sister are huge helps, and Dom's mom. And now that they get to go with me, my kids love the music. They love the atmosphere. And so it's really fun to see how much that affects them, and to see them fall in love with the music that I fell in love with it at their age. Because my mom and dad took me to the festivals and stuff, So it's really cool.
I was just actually going to ask you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great that you have that support network to help you and, folks that are willing to come on the road with you and help take care of the kiddos. That's a juggle. I've had some wonderful help down here, and my mom has come down from Minnesota. She'll come down she called me yesterday and she's like, IBMA's gone virtual, so I can't come down to watch Romy. Oh yeah. So, but my parents have been so super helpful. Jeff's family is here in Manchester, Tennessee, where we live, his hometown. And I've had some students, I'll take road nannies along. I've had some wonderful families that have been willing to let me bring their daughters along to watch my kids. My kid while I'm doing this. And I just, oh my gosh, that's huge that they would trust me with their kid, watch my kid. And the guys in the band have been very gracious about it too. I don't bring Romy often because she's now she's in public school, and it's just tough. It's a juggle, and especially during this time of quarantine, and it's summertime, I'm trying to figure out how to make sure that she has a good summer. She gets to have play dates with her buddies.
Yeah.
And swimming lessons. We're starting swimming lessons tomorrow. Just signed her up for dance. We're going to get into that. She did cheerleading this past winter, and she had a lot of fun with that. She was part of the Upwards program at our church. And so, but I've just been trying to okay, we need to have activities for her. How are we going to get her to and from, and then me go off on the road,
Yeah.
So it's been a juggle. And I feel like in some ways I've lived my life backwards. You're supposed to have your kids and then, do your touring or whatever, and then have your kids and move on to the next phase of life. And I had a kid. I was pregnant with Romy when I blessed Darren and Brooke. They offered me a job with their band, so I toured with them for a couple seasons, and I had Romy in the middle of that, and I was driving to North Carolina, and my husband looks back and he's like, "Why did I let you do that?" He comes from a bluegrass family too, so and it's a sweet thing when my family and his family get together. My family's from Minnesota, his family's from here in Tennessee, and we all play bluegrass music together. We have that language in common. Okay. And I just think that is so sweet. So we're just trying to make it work. It's one day at a time, and trying to make plans. Then we got to revise the plans.
But exactly right. You really just have to roll with the punches. We're about to enter a completely different stage because Walker's going to start school in August. And so now we're going to enter that stage of juggling one kid at home, one kid at school, and then our tour schedule. So it's going to be really interesting to see how we finish out the year with that. But Dom, his family had no clue about bluegrass. They're from California, and they moved out here. And when we and him met, he was like, "You like bluegrass?" Like, they're big old country fans, and so he listened to a lot of old country. And I was like, "You have to listen to bluegrass. I mean, come on, I'm going to open you to a whole new world of greatness." And and now he loves it. I mean, he loves the diversity of it. And, there's so many styles in bluegrass and so many, types of bluegrass that you can hear out there today. And so he's still learning bluegrass, and I'm over here. We're just trying to juggle it together. But it was really neat because I got to open him up to what I grew up with and what's out there.
Mm-hmm. So, Becky, we have a question, of course, and I was going to ask this myself because with the COVID-19 and shows being canceled or postponed, that big Opry debut, do we know if and when that has been rescheduled?
We do not. Thanks for asking, but we'll let everybody know just as soon as we get that back on the books. I've told the band, well, they called once. I know they're going to call again, but I heard today that Nashville has now on Monday is entering phase 3, which of reopening. So I'm not entirely sure what that means, if it's to full capacity, 75% capacity for these venues now, but I know that it's going to make it possible for the venues to open up more.
Right. So, well, obviously during this time, this has been a huge adjustment for everybody, for income, obviously, and making sure everybody's still hearing the great music that both Becky Buller Band and Backline's been putting out. Becky, you've just released not one but 2 singles in the last 2.5 months. Of course, the Barber's Fiddle, and most recently, I think a song. And I want to ask, when was this one particularly written? Less Heart, or
I love that song.
yeah, exactly. Your current single.
More Heart, Less Attack. So
Thank you.
This is one of 2 cover songs on the new record. This is actually a Need to Breathe song. And for those of you who don't know Need to Breathe, they are a Christian rock band. They have a new album out right now, by the way, so give that a listen. But a student of mine brought this to me and asked me to learn it for her so I could teach it to her. And I just fell in love with the message, and I thought, hey, this would make a really cool bluegrass song. So their version of the song is very slow, very different from the way we did it. But we've had a lot of fun with this. And ironically, we've been doing this song for quite some time whenever we have a full gospel set. But we hadn't had a chance to record it. And Stephen Mogen is our producer. He did some tweaks to our arrangement, and I think it made it a whole lot stronger presentation. And it's just, it's providence that we released it during this time. It's a message we need to hear. Anytime we need to hear it, but especially right now, be more heart and less attack. So please go over to my Facebook page. I just released a Quarren Jam version of this yesterday. So big kudos to CJ Garskoff, our sound engineer, for putting that video together for us. But please also check out the single. It's available wherever you grab your music.
Yeah.
And I'm glad y'all like it. Thank you. I feel like it came out during, kind of like this quarantine had really gotten rolling. And so I feel like it hasn't really gotten, a lot of a fair shake. But I see that people are playing it. Michelle, thanks for spinning it. We really appreciate it.
So, Katelyn, you said you guys are in the studio as well, working on the next album. And that is, of course, the guys in the band. Give them a shout. I know, let's talk a little bit about your guys in the band. Of course, you've added some new members in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
As well.
So we have me, and then, of course, there's Travis Tucker, who started the band. He's our dobro player. And then there is Marlon Williams, who is our mandolin player. And then you have Chris Williamson, who just came on with us. He's our new bass player. Used to be with Volume 5 for those Volume 5 fans out there. So we're lucky to have him. And then Mr. Kent White is our fiddle player, and he's on with us. And he's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And he's been doing a killer job. We've been excited to have all the new guys come on. Marlon hasn't been with us very long either. So me and Travis are the only originals. I told him if he leaves me, I'm going to maybe cut him or something. It's going to be bad. He's like, don't leave me. No, but we're the only original too. But the guys have just brought, so much. And they just fell right in with us. And, their influence, our dynamics have changed. Just the things that they brought to the music, it's been pretty awesome. And we're loving getting to work with them. And we are in the studio. We're actually finishing up a new single called You Can't Take My Farm. Hopefully going to be coming out in the next few months. And then we're going into the studio beginning of July and going to start cutting another single maybe for the end of the year called Church Bells. So we're really excited about those two. And then we have all our material for our album. We just got to get into the studio and start hammering it out.
Right. Well, for folks that want to follow you guys, is on your website. Becky Buller's is beckybuller.com, and Backline is backlinesc.com. So we're going to get a little more real, if you don't mind, about some things that I'm going to pick your brain out. I know. This is good. So obviously, both of you, Becky, you took public relations, communication in college. And how are you using that tool to help market the Becky Buller Band these days?
Oh gosh, every day I'm using it. Of course, the technology has changed quite a bit since 2001 when I graduated, and social media wasn't really a thing back then. It definitely not for me. I feel like I've fallen behind in the last few weeks with, posting stuff to my socials. Apologize for that. I've been doing a lot more teaching and doing stuff in the background, finishing up the record and things. But definitely appreciated my journalism classes at ETSU and actually went with a PR degree because my friend Robin Clevenger was going that route. And at that point, I had changed my major 3 or 4 times. Well, that sounds like a good idea. I think I'm just going to do that and get this 4-year degree done in 5 years, and we'll move on. But it has been very helpful all throughout, in the various groups that I've been with, and It's
Well,
it's
I know. I mean,
me.
I know you have that works with you, and I just figured, obviously, being a mom, being the band leader, and it's a lot doing the songwriting, and that I figured, your brain is, trying to be creative at the same time, but utilizing the team around you is a beneficial piece of what you do.
Yes, definitely. And I really appreciate everything that Yana does at Dark Shadow Recording, with, keeping stuff out there on the socials and keeping things fresh. And then also we're working with Wortman Works, Jules Wortman, on with some PR now too. So that's very helpful. But a lot of pretty much almost everything that you see on the socials comes through me, and goofy pictures and the videos and stuff. I'm trying to learn the video thing. Oh gosh, that's been a steep learning curve. Trying to learn iMovie.
Hey, I remember when Becky was learning a lot about Adobe Photoshop and things like that. Both in the office, like cringing, like I don't know.
Yeah.
But I believe we have someone that's going to be joining us right now. Miss Lorraine Jordan. I think Sammy's going to bring her in that. So, Sammy, where are you with Miss Lorraine?
Hey, Lorraine.
Hey. How's
Hey,
everybody?
Lorraine.
Good. How are
Well,
you?
guess where I'm at today? Would you like to know where I'm at?
Where are you at, Lorraine?
I'll give you a hint.
Woo!
Hey, Michelle.
Hey.
How's it going?
See what we're doing?
Someone's busy in the studio.
We're recording. Here's our producer.
Hey.
And
Well,
wait a minute.
that's awesome.
Wait for it.
Well, hello. How's everybody?
There he is.
Hello, Michelle.
Hey there.
Hello.
You see Alan?
Yep,
One
sure
more.
did.
One more. Wait for it. Here we go.
Hey, who's that? Hey! What are you
Hey,
doing?
what's up,
I
Randy?
can't hear you.
And
Hi, Randy.
I'm here trying to tune a guitar. I'm in here trying to tune a guitar. It's never worked before, but I think I might have it now.
Okay, so there's my day full of laughs.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to jump in and say hi to everybody.
Good to see you.
Likewise. Thanks for doing so. Yeah. So let's so here's something that I kind of want to I got a hold of these interesting cards, and that they're called Re-Ink is a company who has you reimagine a lot of things, and maybe this will get your brain a little thinking about what you do daily, personally, or in the professional world of bluegrass. So reimagine in your everyday life. How do you disrupt the status quo? Katelyn?
Well, the status quo. I mean, my everyday life, I'm at home with my kids. To disrupt that, I go play music on the weekend.
you do better than I'm going to do at this.
No, I don't know. I guess to disrupt the status quo of the stay-at-home mom, I have 2 pigs. I mean,
You have 2 pigs?
2 pigs, yeah. We have some pigs in a garden, yeah, and a dog.
And
We're
what's
like
the
a
pig's
mini
names?
Huh?
What are your pigs' names?
Piggy and Little Bit. They really stretched themselves there. Could you tell? Yeah. So I guess that's not normal. Would that not be normal?
That's definitely disrupting something, but not for your life. That's a normal thing.
Yeah. So,
Man, for my life, just disrupting the status quo, being home to make supper.
oh, yeah.
I mean, even through this through the quarantine and stuff, it's I've been trying to do so much that my husband's like, let's just go get takeout. But I love it when we could just sit on our back porch and have a meal, a home cooked meal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So okay.
since
What's that?
I said I've definitely cooked more since this quarantine started because I'm not going as much. So,
Do you feel that you become a better cook?
I think so. I hope so. Dom's not very picky though, so it doesn't help.
Bless him.
Well, Becky, how about bacon? I know Becky loves to bake.
Oh,
I do, and it's hard to find time to do that too. But Romy and I have made some cookies through this, and that's helped us. That's definitely helped our mental state.
Yeah.
Through the quarantine. Just the smell of cookies in the house is wonderful. It's healing. It's a balm in Gilead.
There you go. There you go.
I will say the chocolate mint cookie that you make
The Tom
is
Selleck
the
cookie.
Yes, those
Yeah.
are awesome.
Is it a
Yeah.
signature
Every time
Becky
I-
Bullard cookie?
It's not my signature. Tom Selleck gave the recipe on Oprah years ago.
Ooh.
And one of my mom's friends got it, and then passed the recipe around amongst the families, and called them Tom Selleck cookies. So
Hey,
make-
if it's a Tom Selleck cookie, it's
it's
gotta
a
be.
chocolate cookie with an Andes mint melted on the top of it.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
Every time I would leave Tennessee to come back to Ohio, Becky always made sure I had some of those for the ride. Always good stuff. So as we rediscover some things, this is another card off of the deck. I know this is fun. I love these things. They make you think. When you have felt a sense of belonging, how have you maintained it? That's rediscovering yourself. Miss Becky?
You're making me think.
I know. Like, what? Oh. Say it one more time.
Okay. When have you felt a sense of belonging, and how have you maintained it?
Well, I would say, with my family, both my family in Minnesota and Tennessee, it is so important to me to make sure that we get good quality family time, that I stay in good contact with my folks back home, and I talk to Mom pretty much every day, and my dad doesn't call. He's not a phone guy as much, but especially during this quarantine, we've been talking to him more on the phone, and just family time with Jeff and Romy. It's just been so important to just shut all the technology down and have that family time. Go catch lightning bugs in the yard with Romy.
Yeah.
Or play Barbies out in the front yard or something, play with Jeff. That's been great during this time. I've gotten to play some more music with him, and he plays guitar and was the song leader in his church for years. So that's been a sweet thing. In fact, we're headed out to a jam tonight. So we're really looking forward to that.
So, Katelyn,
Yeah, I would
did you forget the question?
get ready. No. I would definitely say family time for sure. Getting to just use this time up, and I know Becky probably more so than me, but when we're on the road and when touring season hits, I mean, it's like a blur. I mean, every weekend, all the blocks fill up, and it's hard to give your kids and your spouse that time that you need together, And so some weekends when we're off, we'll just load the boat up and go to the lake together and just let the kids swim and stuff, just because it's not extravagant, but we get to relax and take that time and, cut the phones off, and except for the camera, and, just spend time together. I think making time, and that goes back to that juggling thing. I think, just juggling everything, making sure that you're taking care of everybody, every little aspect of it all, making sure the guys in the band know that you're still in it, you're still there, making sure your kids know you're still there, your spouse, you're still there for them, but then trying to stay on top of it and keep moving forward and growing and doing it.
So, okay, this next one that I'm going to ask you, and then there's a couple fan questions. So I'm going to ask you this is kind of redefining. So whether it's, professionally, personally, or outside of bluegrass, or even bluegrass business music in general, just think about this one. what is an idea you think most people misunderstand, and how would you rebrand it to clarify it?
Goodness, Michelle.
So I'm gonna give you what I've had presented to me from a listener for the last few months. A listener from Indiana sends in requests all the time into the Bluegrass Borderline, and she was curious about the top 10 that I do and how some songs end up on there and when songs don't. And so I had explained to her because she had a particular dislike to one of the songs that were in the top 10. So I had to just give her a background about the history of bluegrass and the different subdivisions of the genre of bluegrass. And it came off right after I got back from Leadership Bluegrass. So it was like really right there, high level for me to discuss. And, you have the traditional bluegrass music where you have, Bill Monroe, Ralph Stanley, J.D. Crowe. Then you have, your contemporary artists. Then you have your progressive. Then you have to look at the old time acoustic music to acoustic country that has the edge of bluegrass. And then, of course, the singer-songwriters. They all kind of fall into that category. But one of the things, her most predominant part of the question was, well, that particular song has drums on it. And I said, well, if you go back and listen to the days of J.D. Crowe and New South with Keith Whitley and Ricky Skaggs, there's drums on it, And go ahead.
Oh, Flat and Scruggs, Jimmy Martin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, to clear it, my thing was to kind of make sure she understood the whole genre in its whole, not just in her, I guess, one mindset of what bluegrass is. And I think with coming out of Leadership Bluegrass and the topics and the discussions we had, it just, it kind of brought it up to that level where, the understanding. And I think that's a lot of folks wonder, well, why did you name your show Bluegrass Borderline? And the key thing is, well, it's borderline, it's all the different genres of bluegrass and roots music and Americana. If you didn't put them all together, I wouldn't have a show that is likable every week. I'd be just drawing the attention to maybe the traditionalist or the progressive. But you can be a contemporary traditional sounding band at the same time. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like how I feel like I had to kind of clarify and rediscover and redefine to, many listeners who might not be aware of the different subdivisions of bluegrass.
Well, there's definitely something for everybody on every branch of the bluegrass family tree.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's one thing. I'll use my mom as an example. My mom, just like Dom, my husband, they didn't grow up listening to bluegrass. So when they came into it, my dad listened to Bill Monroe. He listened to Flat and Scruggs, Reno and Smiley, all the traditionals. And she was like, I just don't know about this, And then he said, no, wait, like that's the beginning. You got to see the character and the history here. And these guys started this music genre, and now it's blossomed and bloomed into all these different avenues of music. And then she got to looking at Mountain Heart and, all these different types and sounds. And then, that opened her up, and she was like, man, I can find anything in bluegrass that, I can like, because there's so much to choose from. And I think Dom's the I feel like I was like, this is where we started. You got to show them the starting point. And this is, look at all these branches of where we come from and the different types of music that are here, but it's all the same. It's all tied to that one root of bluegrass.
And how many people have, has Allison Krauss and Union Station been their gateway, or Newgrass Revival, or Steve Canyon Rangers, or Green Sky, or something, and then they, get hooked, and then work their way back and find all this great legacy of music.
Yeah. So, what is one of your most favorite albums of bluegrass artists all time, Katelyn?
Ooh. Of course, Allison Krauss was super influential. ACUS was, I mean, massive to me back in the day. But there's so many. I listen to so many, and I'm inspired by artists that are coming in now. I mean, just the different sounds and styles. Definitely the Cherry Homes were big. I remember when they came onto the scene for me. Their Black and White album was something that I just listened to over and over and over again. And it was one of those things where it was so different. You know, they had a vein through there that it all hung off of, but all the songs had a different feel. Definitely Ricky Skaggs, Tony Rice, Manzanita album, listen to that album, and man.
So here's a part 2 for you, Katelyn, on this one.
Oh goodness.
Who by any, all right, tell me without even looking, who was the last person you listened to on your phone or in the car?
Becky Buller. I told Michelle, I said, I've been jamming the Buller Band all day, the Becky Buller Band all day. I've been getting in the zone. Man, I love it. I love Miss Becky. And it got into that too with Miss Becky's music. I mean, it's all bluegrass, but there's so many different avenues and sounds and styles that you're writing and brings into it. I love it. I love variety. I'm not a one lane bluegrasser. I love the variety. I love the style of bluegrass. I love that people bring their own style and influence, and that the music genre allows that, and that it's free for interpretation, free for expression. I love it. I love this music. I love what we get to do.
So Becky, for you, what is one of your favorite albums of all time?
Oh, I have
artists.
So many. So many. First one that came to mind when you asked Katelyn that was Waiting for the Hard Times to Go by Nashville Bluegrass Band. Love Nashville Bluegrass Band. Also Native American by Tony Rice, which is a very eclectic album. Some bluegrass, some Americana, I guess you'd call it now, new acoustic music.
Right.
And of course, Allison Krauss and Union Station, Third Time Out, Lonesome River Band. And then I listen to lots of stuff that's beyond bluegrass, and but we just have so much variety. Sam Bush's Glamour and Grits record, that I ran into that my first year in college, and that was a kind of a life changer for me. Such a great album.
Yeah. So what was the last thing that played on your device today?
Well, Katelyn, I'm sorry. I was listening to a bunch of James Taylor today.
You're good. Hey, I don't blame you there.
Send it back. I'm so sorry. But y'all are doing some really great stuff. We were listening to James Taylor during the photo shoot today because James Taylor calmed me down.
So we're going to go back to a fan question. Rick out in California, of course, love him to pieces. I'm gonna miss it so much with World of Bluegrass, not how I'm going to be in person, but we're still gonna have fun. So he asks this for both of you: when on tour, who in your band takes the longest to get ready for a show, and who is the quickest? Katelyn?
I mean, I think definitely me.
On both?
But I don't go like partially ready either. Like if we're traveling a long distance, my hair is going to be up on top of my head, like in the bun life.
Well, you can do that. You've got wonderful straight hair.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I throw a curling iron to it right before show, so maybe 40 minutes. But I mean, they're all really fast. They don't. Milam probably takes the longest out of all of them because he combs his hair back and stuff. They all just throw their clothes on and go, and I get really jealous about it. I'm like, really? That was a lot of effort, guys. Come on.
I'm always
everybody on Backline is saying Katelyn.
Yeah, I know.
And Becky, are you going to follow suit? Follow suit.
Professor Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kidding. Of course it's me. But I'm always trying to figure out, like, okay, I can do my makeup in the car. If I do my eyes in the in the hotel room and do my hair. I can do the rest of my makeup in the car, and that'll let me sleep a little bit longer. Always trying to cipher it out.
So, all right. So, for a show of something that stands out in your career, whether it was performing at a festival, performing, with a full lineup of artists, and or Becky, for you, I kind of throw this one where maybe you're not with the Becky Buller Band, maybe you're doing something and performing with the First Ladies of Bluegrass, which, by the way, Becky is part of, because winning the first female to win her category, as well as Sierra Hall, Allison Brown, Missy Raines, and Mally Tuttle, who make up for Ladies of Bluegrass. Is there a show or a festival that you guys took part in that kind of stands out for you?
Well, with
Becky,
my band,
we'll go with you first.
With my band, getting to play Rocky Grass a couple years ago was just phenomenal. Let's see, I'm trying to think when that was now. Was that 2017? Maybe. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that question. But anyway, getting to play Rocky Grass was a huge deal for us. And then with the First Ladies, just back in January, we got to back up Steve Martin during a run in Florida of he and Martin Short's comedy shows, and that was amazing. Just incredible to get to watch them work, and how they're just constantly working on the script and the jokes and tweaking things, and is that funny? What do you think? And it was awesome. It was awesome. And I'm supposed to be part of sorry, a question there. I'm supposed to be doing another show with them in September, where this time it's not the First Ladies. It'll be Allison Brown and her Fairweather friends. And so I'm going to be part of that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen yet or not. So just keep an eye on the schedules there on my online schedule. I'm updating that daily as things postpone and reschedule.
Yeah. So, Katelyn, anything that stands out from your shows that kind of?
Gosh, it's so hard. I feel like when we first got started, when you first get started, you take whatever you can get, and just trying to get your name out there. For me personally, just a memory that popped to mind. There's so many, but just one that popped into my head was we got to open up for Third Time Out maybe a year or so ago. And my mom has a picture of me when I was probably Walker's age, about 5, with Third Time Out. And then there's another picture of me with the guys, Russell, and then I'm drawing a blank on names, but with the band when I was about 12 or 13. And so I was like, Russell, I got to get a picture with you so I can add to the list. So it was really sweet because I remember sitting on my dad's lap and watching them play and falling in love with the music, and then to be able to open up for them was just something super special to me. It brought it full circle. Mm-hmm. And the band, this year was going to be one of our biggest years, and there was some massive festivals on that list, and so we were super excited to get to do that, and hopefully we'll get to perform on those stages and get to be with artists that we've looked up to, and still they encourage us and they push us, and like Miss Becky and her band, and they try to, they are a big influence on what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. So, and on that kind of line of, performing, obviously there's got to be some funny stories, that whether it happened on the road or in the studio, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
Hey, this is real. There's no filter pretty much on this at all.
No filter. Oh my.
Okay, I thought of I'm ready.
Go for it.
Okay.
Kind of funny and kind of scary. So we were in Arizona for a festival, and I'm blanking on the town right now, but it was on like a rodeo ground, and there was the little trailer stage, here, and then backstage, and we needed to go up the hill to a workshop thing, and Daniel, our bass player, Daniel Harden, was standing here and he was going, Becky, and the MC was talking to me, and so I'm like, okay, just say. I thought he was like, oh, come on, we got to go, we got to get up to this workshop. He's Becky, and there was a rattlesnake on like not far away from Daniel, and he was standing there to keep it angry. It was coiled up. It was
So-
and he's like, "Good, tell somebody about this." So the MC was, it's a kind of a little guy, like not super tall, maybe I don't know, 5'3" or 4 or something like that. Very wiry and dressed in Western wear, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's the first time we've had one of those down here. Glad you saw him." And they were like they ended up clearing out the kids, making sure anyway, and the MC ended up killing the snake, I think, with a shovel.
Ooh.
But yeah, so not funny, but kind of scary, and funny in that we made it out of that.
You'll survive.
And man, bluegrass can be dangerous.
Yeah.
I will say this is funny on that talking about a snake. And so tomorrow I'm going to be out at it's called the African Safari Wildlife Park. I'm going to be doing my whole show out there from 10 to 2, and I had to do my final call talking with them, and I said, I just ask that I know one of your shows, the end, you bring out the snake, that you don't bring it near me. Otherwise, I'll be running in the fields with the giraffes and the zebras.
This is Michelle Lee. I'll see you later.
Yeah, exactly. I'm out.
Peace out.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a snake gal either. No. I don't even care what color it is.
You got some stories, right, Katelyn?
Mm-hmm.
Got a story, don't you?
Oh,
A
yeah.
funny story.
I was thinking we were coming from, I was going to tell you all about the alligator story, but I'm going to tell you this one because I thought about it while we were talking about kids. So I usually, when we rehearse, I try to, set up some kind of babysitting system for the kids because that way we can focus and work. And for some reason, Walker was with me this night at rehearsal, and Zachary Carter, our banjo player, that he was like throwing Walker up and catching him, and he was probably 4 or so. Well, he was on this chair, and so he was jumping off the chair to Zach. And so Zach was like, okay, I'm going to catch you. And Walker gets back up on the chair, and Zach's like, he catches him again, and then Walker gets back up on the chair, and like Walker's just in it, they get locked in. And I look at Zach, I'm standing back, the whole band's standing around, we're about to leave. And Zach's like, I ain't going to catch you this time. And so Walker jumps off the chair, and he's like belly flop, flat out, floor level. And he looks at Zach, and you can see his face just notice, like, okay, he's not going to catch me. And it was like, wham.
Oh.
And so we're all standing around going, like, what do we do? And I was like, you just had to let my kid fall, didn't you? You just had to let him fall on the ground. But it's something we laugh about now because it was insane. It was like slow-mo. Like, it was just like, oh, no. And then, bam, belly flop on the hardwood.
Was he okay?
Now I'll give Zach a hard time about it. Oh, but it was hilarious. I was like, you better be glad I like you because let him go. Let him go.
So Milo's jumping in here, and he wants to know what would be your respective dream albums to record, artistically speaking.
Really, Mom? That's my mandolin player. He
Love
would.
Milo, yeah.
Artistically speaking, dream album. You can go for that one.
Yeah, I was actually letting you both think. That's a simmering question going on in there. Yeah. So why your
favorite album one? Like, that was a hard one for me. I can't.
Oh, I can't.
Is there okay? I'm gonna. How about, is there someone that you would love to co-write with that you haven't co-written with?
Ooh.
Becky?
Does Dolly Parton co-write
Oh, that's a good one. Good job.
She's like the riding queen, isn't she?
Yeah, she's so amazing.
Oh, if she co-write, that would be like my fantasy dream.
Oh yeah. For me, James Taylor and Daryl
Yeah.
Scott.
That's a good one too. Yeah. Gosh, that's so hard. There's so many
What
that
is-
took me on.
So what is a festival that that you've not well, maybe you have played, but maybe what is one of your favorite festivals to go to
Ooh.
when you're not playing?
That's so hard.
It is hard. If I'm not playing, usually I'm home.
I know. It's,
Yeah. Oh gosh, there's so many good ones.
So I remember the first, I think it was like my first year when I moved down to Tennessee, and of course still doing the show and everything, and I got offered tickets to go to Merle Fest,
ooh.
and Becky and I and a couple of our friends went. It was my first time going to Merle Fest, and that was a blast. Just seeing that whole setting, the stage is, I think that was just, plus also kind of getting lost to where we were going at the same time. But I think that was a fun adventure, a festival that I never thought I would ever go to and get a chance to go to. I think that was one of my favorite ones.
That's a good one.
It's a good one for sure. And then the Minnesota Bluegrass and Old Time Music Association puts on a great festival in August every year.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's postponed this year. But hey, go back, y'all go check it out in 2021 at El Rancho Mañana in Richmond, Minnesota.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is a good place. I remember going there.
One
So
of
many
the
fun.
show that you could probably relate to is the Mohican Bluegrass Festival. We just got
actually,
Yeah.
that's a beautiful, beautiful location, and the lineup was so fun.
Mhm.
That was the first time that we'd actually got to play in Ohio, and it was, it blew our socks off.
That's a
And
fun
it was
stage.
really fun. It is. It's an awesome setup. And the crowd is just like, they get you going for sure. It was super fun. There's so many good ones there.
Oh, there is. There's so many you could.
And just a plug for tomorrow. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm going to get the radio station wrong, but I think it's Rick out there in California. Help me out. Eric Rice is going to be rebroadcasting our performance at Grass Valley, or the entire Grass Valley Festival from a few years ago on his show. I believe it's tomorrow. But anyway, check that out. Eric Rice on his Facebook page. It'll get you there. I think it's WVMR, but I bet I just got that wrong. Anyway, Grass Valley, California Bluegrass Association, great festival, beautiful location under the pines. Oh, it's gorgeous.
So obviously, Katelyn, you're going to be getting ready with Backline to do the Save Our Concerts series music festival, SOS, coming up in next week, right?
Yeah, we're about to get you rolling here. We've been so lucky. I know Miss Becky can probably relate. All of our shows this year just falling, canceling, rescheduling. And for an artist, you get so ready once you get that break over with to get right back into the season. And we have been lucky enough to join up with Mr. Ernie Evans, who just now took over Norman Adams, the Adam Family festivals here in our part of the country. And he has kind of gone on a takeoff here to try to implement festivals that fall into all of the COVID-19 guidelines. And so we've been lucky enough to try to help him. And he's doing that with Evans Media Music Source, and they're called SOS Music Fest. So it's Save Our Summer Music Fest. And what he's doing is he's going into the open states that have low cases, low rates of the virus and things, and making sure to keep up with hotspots. And they're going to implement all of these COVID-19 guidelines, temperature checkpoints, things like that, social distancing as far as the audience is concerned. We're going to do 90-minute music sets so that they can disinfect and clean off all of the sound equipment that the artists use. So just taking extra precautions. It's going to be a little smaller set list. A smaller artist list that's going to be performing. But we're really excited, and we really hope that it'll help get the music out there. And he's also doing a big live stream setup with multi-camera angles and things like that for people who aren't comfortable and don't, maybe have health concerns and can't take the, risk, if you want to say that, to come out and be a part of the festival in person. So they're really trying to go out of the box. And
well, I know I don't want to keep you guys too much longer but we're having so much fun. Oh, hey Dakota.
Hey there.
You got up. Hi, girl.
I'm okay.
So Rick said it's KVMR out of Grass Valley, California.
KVMR. I as soon as I said that, I was like, wait, W is east of the Mississippi, K is on the west. Thank you, Rick. KVMR.
He's always there for us. He's always got our back. But I want to remind folks, of course, to follow Katelyn and Backline on Facebook. Also, your website, backlinesc.com, and Becky Buller and Becky Buller Band on social media, as well as BeckyBuller.com. But before I let you guys go, I have another wonderful, very deep thinking question for you.
What is?
Hey, I'm going to say, these are the awesomest cards ever. Free Ink is the company. Amazing. These questions make you really think. I'm telling you. This is off of one of the Renew cards. So share one thing you love about your career.
Ooh.
I changed one word because I didn't want to make everybody feel uncomfortable, but I went with career instead of what the other word was, which was body. And I rather just say, let's go with career. If we go with body, it's my hair. I'm sorry. I love my hair.
Makes me think of that commercial. I think it was maybe like Dove soap or something a long time ago. What do I like about my body? My belly button.
Or it's my smile. If you want to answer the actual true question, but I'm going to go with career. What is something that you love about your career?
You can go.
Katelyn?
Katelyn, go ahead.
You want me to?
Go ahead.
I would definitely say, the music, but the people too. I love it both. I love the people.
We were thinking the same thing. I was thinking I've gotten to meet so many people all over the world.
Yeah.
That are, and so many musicians all over the world. And I just, my husband keeps telling me, you're just so lucky that you've gotten to travel like you have.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for every day that I get to do this, play this music, get to hang out with y'all, and everybody out there in Facebook land hanging with us today. Thank you all so much.
And even I feel like the fans have made this a rough time for all of us. It's affected all of the musicians, all artists, in so many capacities. But the fans, they check on us, and they ask when things are going to be moving, and they do show up to the live videos and things like that. And they've just kept us going, and we appreciate them. We wouldn't be able to do this music without our fans. And I'm like Miss Becky. I love the people. I love getting to meet and getting to know different people from different backgrounds and different styles of artists and things like that. It's awesome.
So one more question. I know that was my one question, but I'm Michelle. I have always more. But what is something non-music related that you are not really, I want to say not obsessed with, that you have in your collection of things that you love, whether it's shoes, socks, glasses, anything like that? What is something that, it's like, oh, I don't have enough of those. I don't have enough of that. Becky?
Rhubarb.
Rhubarb. All right.
I love rhubarb, and it reminds me of home, because it grows like a weed in Minnesota, and certain time of year, you're just inundated with rhubarb this and rhubarb that, desserts and pies and stuff. And you have rhubarb in Ohio, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Katelyn, how about you? Do you guys have rhubarb?
I'm sure we do. I didn't grow up with it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know rhubarb jam and the rhubarb pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've heard about it. I've never had to try it. Got to try
According
it.
to my father-in-law, who was almost 86 when he passed away back in January, he said that rhubarb used to grow down here in Tennessee, no problem. But it's warmer now down here than it used to be, and so rhubarb doesn't do as well. But I've been trying to raise rhubarb in our yard, and I planted about 15 different plants around the yard to see what might make it, and I've got 5 of them made it on the southwestern side of our house. They like it there. They're clicking along. If they come back next year, I can start harvesting it. And
there you go.
Making some pie.
Is that the shadier side of your house or the sunnier side?
Shadier. Yeah. But they get
you're a little shady.
I tried to I tried to put them back in the full shade at the back of the yard, and they didn't like that. So they like a mix of shade and sun. So I've been doing the rhubarb report on my Facebook page. Every so often, I'll just post a picture of it and say, it's still going. It's still here. It's amazing how many folks get into that.
Oh, man. How about you, Katelyn? Something that you got that?
Okay, we just did a house remodel. We took some walls down maybe a year or so ago. And so since then, I am loving succulents. This is fake because I'll probably kill the real ones. But it doesn't look fake, right? So,
a collection of fake succulents.
Yeah, well, for right now, that's what I go into the store and I'm like, I wonder if they have any new. I look for them.
The interesting thing is you got to be careful because when your fans find out, you're gonna have a vehicle load of them.
I'm gonna have to build more shelves. You have to put more shelves. No, I just think they're cute. Look at them. And I can't kill it. It'll just last like this. It'll look beautiful. True.
That's the kind of house plants I need.
No, I tried a fern. I've got my garden in. It's doing pretty good. And we've started harvesting from it. But I have a little fern out on my porch that, bless it, I've been horrible to it. I mean, it looks like I've been horrible to it.
Hey, Miss Romy, look at who's coming.
Hey, you.
She's shy. It's all good. Well, I want to thank both of you for joining me on Real Talk. I think I love it. I think it's nice to get a little real and get a little different insight, as during this quarantine time to entertain people with something a little different. And, of course, keeping the music alive. And with the two of you, I know the hands of songwriting of bluegrass music and then some is in very capable hands. Again, looking forward to more music from both of you with the Becky Buller Band backline and as individuals and as your songwriting keeps on growing and others record it. It's an amazing thing that you guys are doing and sharing with your gift with all of us. In the world. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Michelle, for having us. Thank you for all that you do to keep bluegrass on the air. And Katelyn, the very best to you and Backline. I can't wait to be on a show with you all real soon.
Thanks. You too. Thanks, Michelle, for having us on. We're really excited to get back rolling. And back to you, Becky. We're hoping to be on a stage with you here pretty soon so we can hang out and cut up together and have a good time together. But just looking forward to seeing everybody. And thanks for having us on the Chit Chat. Have a little girl talk this afternoon.
Well, and of course we can't leave Sammy out. I know I didn't bring Sammy in today. Sammy understands. We need some girl time.
Asked me any questions.
How are you
on
doing,
the show last time, and I was sitting here in my top left corner, And I was like, I don't think she's going to ask me a question. So I just like, I'm going to hide.
But, of course, I want to mention Backline's newest and latest CD is Salem Town. Again, everybody check it out, backlinesc.com. Becky Buller's latest album is Crepe Paper Heart, but brand new music with 2 amazing great singles. And the upcoming album, of course, is going to be called Distance and Time, set for a July release from Dark Shadow Records. So check it out.
Well, it's actually coming out in September now. We had to push it back, but we do have a new single coming July 17th. I'm sorry I didn't get that ahead of time, but please look for that new single on July 17th coming to you real soon.
No, it's going to be fun. So again, ladies and Sammy, thank you so much for making this happen. Again, for everybody who joined us and who joins us after we say our farewells. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to be real and talk bluegrass. And of course, we'll talk more about the IBMA Virtual World of Bluegrass in the next few weeks, and hopefully we'll have some more surprising, fun activities to discuss. And all right here as we get real on Real Talk Bluegrass.
Interested in checking out a live music venue getting started up, just check out the SOS Music Fest. They have an SOS Music Fest Facebook page. The first show is going to be June 26th and 27th at the Lewis Family Home Place in Lincoln, Georgia. So check that out, you guys, and hopefully we'll get to see you there.
And I believe that will be streamed live also on Bluegrass Music TV as well.
Awesome.
Look at as well. But again, thank you again, and have a wonderful evening. It's real. It's Real Talk Bluegrass.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.